Hi, today we're going to talk about how to set up your availability within Shiftboard. So I'm going to start by logging on as a user. That brings us to the news page. And to get to availability, you're going to first want to click on your name, which will show up here on the right-hand side of this orange bar. That'll bring you to your contact page. Up at the top of the contact page, you can see a few different options. We're going to go to availability, which I'll highlight when you hover over it, and click on that. And this will bring up your availability. What you'll see here normally is any listed availability you have, if you have any in here. Right now this user doesn't have any. So we're going to add some. We'll just click add time. Okay. It brings up a couple different ways to add availability. The way most people are going to use is to add general availability. This is if you're available the same days consistently from one week to the next. So we're going to start by adding general availability. It defaults right to that tab you can see here. There's another tab here called specific availability that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Looking at this here, first it's saying I will be available or busy. You're going to leave it as available. We do occasionally use the busy marking. We're going to talk about that a little later as well. But whenever you're not available at all, those days you're considered as busy automatically by default. So you don't have to use the busy marking to mark days that you're normally not available anyway. We just want to know what days you are available to work. So we're going to start by saying, this user, he's going to be available Mondays and Wednesdays. He's going to be available for any team. You're just going to leave it as any team. Okay. And we're going to say that he's available during certain times. Now, during those certain hours is actually very important if you work beyond midnight. If you work on the night shift and work beyond midnight, we really need to know what the times are that you're available to work because of the way it sets up availability. All of our times are done on a 24-hour time clock. So, 0600 equates to 6 in the morning, whereas 1600 equates to 4 in the afternoon. So we do this to alleviate any confusion so that we know that if you put in 1600 hours, you mean it's 4 p.m. And if you put in 0400 hours, we know that you mean it's 4 a.m. So we're going to say that he's available from, we'll say 1600 hours. So I scroll all the way down, find 1600 to 1 a.m. So that's going to be 0100 hours right here. So you can set a start date and an end date for this. If you leave these two alone, it just leaves it very open-ended, meaning that it will say that you're available for this instance Mondays and Wednesdays from this point forward until you delete it off the system. So we're just going to leave those open for now. We're going to click Add at the bottom. As you can see, it comes up with a couple different lines here. Now, what it's saying here is that you're available from 1600 to midnight on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then from midnight to 1 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Midnight is the the date line where the next day starts, so that's why it kind of equates to this. So it might look a little bit funky, but it is important for our own scheduling so that we can make sure that we schedule you to the correct shift that you're available for. Okay. Next we'll talk about doing specific availability. So I'm going to go to add time again. And instead of staying in the general availability tab, I'm going to click specific availability. Specific availability is for specific dates that you're going to say you're available. If you have a changing schedule where you're not going to be available specific days of the week, but specific dates, this is what you would use. You would also frequently use it for weekend availability to say that you're available on certain weekends. So again, we're going to leave it as available and we're going to choose a few days. The best way to do this is by clicking on the little calendar icon right here. Bring up a calendar and then you could choose days. We're going to say, hey, he's available on a Saturday and a Sunday. You do not have to do days consecutively. You can choose different days, months apart. It doesn't matter. You can choose them all at once. So, I might choose this Sunday as well. And everything adds to this list here. Okay. Going down the page a little bit, again, leave team alone. It's going to be on any team. Here, again, you can set hours if you want to say that you're available specific hours. If you want to say that you're available overnight, this is the way to do it. We're just going to leave it as all day, just saying he's available those particular days all day. And we'll click Add. You can see each of those specific days, there's dates here that come up. Says it's either Saturday or Sunday and lists them as available. Now, if you have a general availability setting and there's days that are normally your days to work but you need to take off, say you're going on vacation and you need to take that Monday night off that you don't normally would work, this is where the busy marking comes in play. So we're going to click Add Time again, and we're going to use specific availability this time in order to mark a busy marking. This is important because what happens is when that day comes and goes, that date will disappear, the busy marking will disappear, so that it automatically goes away and then you become available again to work on that particular day. Okay, so we're going to just mark ourselves busy. I'm going to add a day. Say it's Monday the 24th that we're not going to be available. Because normally you're available until this user is available until 1 a.m., we're going to make sure that we set specific times. So their specific time normally that they're available is 1600 to 0100. So we're going to mark 1600 to 0100 that they're going to be busy that particular day. So now we'll click Add, and you'll see at the bottom a busy marking. Again, it shows Monday and Tuesday because it's going to be Monday from 1600 to midnight, and then on Tuesday it's going to be from midnight to 0100. So this will make it so this user is not available on that particular day. Once that day comes and goes, it will automatically delete, so that allows them not to have to worry about it again. They're once again going to be available to work those regular days that they normally work. Okay. If you need to make a change, and the way you do that is you delete that availability line and then remake it. For instance, say he's no longer going to be available to work on Sunday the 16th. He's going to click on the little X here, and it'll go into a pending status. This lets the schedulers know that you want to delete this availability, and they'll go ahead and approve it then. It's kind of a warning ahead of us that, hey, you deleted availability. That way we kind of know for sure that you're not available that day or that you made some kind of change. So once we delete it, this will go away completely and you won't even see it any longer. So that pretty much wraps up availability. Again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me at nathan.brown@pae.com. You can always call my office number as well, 571-341-1217. Thanks.